Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, whenever you're watching this. This is Floating in Dreams. Today we are going to be talking about my custom eyeshadow palette that I built myself in April and how I experienced using this, showing you looks, showing you swatches, and showing you what I will be using in May. Welcome to everybody watching today's video. Thank you so very much for being here. Yes, today we are chatting about my custom eyeshadow palette, and I asked you guys in my last Shop My Stash whether you wanted to see me do a dedicated video to my custom monthly eyeshadow palette that I have been building with singles, and a lot of you were saying yes, please. So I'm no longer going to be doing this as part of my actual Shop My Stash, but I will be showing you how I sort of put the palette together and what I hope to be able to do with some of these shades as well. I'll be showing you swatches as we go along. I'll be showing you looks that I did with the palette as well as I'm chatting about my experience of using the palette. In case you're unfamiliar with the channel, then hi, welcome. My name is Maaike. I live in the Netherlands. I like doing eyeshadow palette related content, S's and Catrice reviews, and I love getting the use out of my makeup. And if you are a fellow snow angel like me, meaning you have a fair skin tone with a cool to neutral undertone, then definitely stick around and join my little snow angel club by subscribing to the channel, because I love chatting about makeup from my perspective. Because if you have a fair skin tone with a cool to neutral undertone, you know that a lot of the recommendations that are floating around the interwebs just don't work for you the same way. Let's get to this custom eyeshadow palette. So for April, I built myself a small 6-pan in this empty Nabla palette where I sort of roped together a couple of the shades here. So I'm going to be talking about the shades individually in a minute as well and do some swatches to sort of help you out. I did only 2 looks with this. In the end, I kept sort of like, I keep this little guy in my eyeshadow, or like in my everyday makeup drawer, and then I just go like, do I want to use this today? No, I don't. Do I want it? No, I don't. No. I just wasn't drawn in, even though it's a very pretty periwinkle color story. So in the end, I just feel, and I always struggle with this, even with like what clothes I want to wear. This is why I don't do capsule wardrobing or anything like that on a day-to-day basis. I'm just too fickle of a person, and I cannot decide weeks in advance what I might want to wear. Like, unless I'm traveling and I have to, but I like having options. And with this, it was just not the option that I wanted to go for. I felt in the end, like, these shades are incredibly pretty, and it was just such a shame that I was like, I should have used this a bit more. But yeah, I did one look using all of the shades from the palette, and then the look I'm wearing today, which is just using 2 looks here. So let me tell you about the shades that are in here and how they worked for me and whether I liked them, whether I would select them again. None of these are bad shadows at all. Like, they're living in my singles collection for a reason. But I definitely felt there were a couple of things that didn't build up the way I'd like to. So let me chat to you about that. Now I want to start us off with the instigator of the entire palette, and it's this Inglot shade. It's a really pretty periwinkle, but I've had this for quite some time, so I have no clue whether they still do this. This is the Inglot eyeshadow Pearl 429. It's part of their Freedom system, and this I really wanted to use. It's on my lid today. I will be live swatching this for you, but I will make sure to insert some close-ups as well so you can see. And this is what it looks like. It just ended up being more blue toned than I remember it being. I felt that in my memory it had a bit more of a purple undertone. So it was a bit light, a little bit blue, and it's still a very pretty shade. It's just that now I remember what it does, and it's not necessarily my go-to. I think by now I have other periwinkles in my collection that I just like better. So that's what I think it boils down to. Is it a pretty shade? Oh yes, it's really nice and vibrant, and this really nice bright sort of pop, but that's why for this second look, I went with this like 60s vibe, because it definitely gave me that like very bright, light, sort of like twiggy kind of vibe. So that's why I'm also not wearing any mascara on my bottom lashes with this look, because I felt that just having this really nice vibrant top lid and then just mascara on the top lashes just really makes for that sort of twiggy inspired look. That's sort of what I was going for. And I think the shade that one really needed to anchor it was this actually. It's another Inglot one. This is the Inglot eyeshadow matte in 388. And this is like the kind of periwinkle that you expect a periwinkle to be. Like it's a blue, but it has quite a lot of purple running through it, and that's the way I would classify a periwinkle. But on me, quite a lot of the purple that it seems to have in the pan is not there anymore. So like the other one, I felt it wasn't as unique as I remember it being. So the look came out a little bit more blue tone than I did when I used this in the crease together with the next shade I will be showing you when I did the look where I used all the shades in the palette. So for me, this was also, it was definitely needed in this palette because it was the only shade that was going to give a little bit of depth to the rest. But I don't really feel undertone wise it went together really well. And then I selected this, another matte to go in here. This is Divina's Remy, and this was the shade I was the least excited to use. Like if I were to use these shades again, this I may not use that quickly again. I mean, it swatches beautifully. It's like a periwinkle purple for sure. I just felt that it dusted away quite easily when I tried to put it in my crease. So what I ended up doing was that I put both of these mattes in my crease to create my look. And I felt that this by itself was just a little bit lacking because it wouldn't stick down. So maybe with a more sticky base it might work, or on the lower lash line with a denser brush. But with a fluffy brush, I felt it just disappeared. And then I selected Pop Culture from Makeup Geek. This was pretty, but this is again, like it's a really pretty periwinkle shade. But I felt, again, it's more of a satin, so it's not necessarily what I'm going for nowadays. I like things that are a bit more textured. And this as well, it seemed to just disappear a little bit. Maybe because it's older, I don't know. But I used it on my lower lash line in the look that I did when I used all of the shades. But the two standout shades here are Fierce from Sydney Grace. This is the most stunning blur pool you have ever seen. It's really intense. So I ended up using this together with Pop Culture on the lower lash line when I did my look. No, I didn't. I think I used this all over the lid. I don't remember. It's been a while since I used that when I did that first look. But yeah, I remember this because it has the purple with the blue. It just really ties everything together. And I really feel that that's what the palette needed for it to really work. It has the vibrancy, the intensity that some of the other shades are lacking, and I loved it. But the shade I'm also wearing on my eyes today is Noir. This is from Looksy Beauty. I don't know if they still do this. And this is really interesting because it looks like a really murky, grungy shade. I mean, and it's called Noir. But it's more like black light. Black light in an eyeshadow. I like that sort of thing. So the reason why I'm swatching it really close to the periwinkle from Inglot is because I feel these shades, like this is the darker shade of this. So this all over the lid with that purple could have been perhaps be another look. But what I ended up doing for today is just fluff this into the outer V in the crease, which I know it's a shimmer, so who am I? But I really like that it still gave a bit of definition because it definitely has a murky base, but then it has this really vibrant, almost periwinkle shift to it. So I really, really enjoyed that. And this was just, you know, it was a good color story. Like, it works. It definitely does. I like it. Is it my favorite? No, I don't think I would put this palette together again. The individual shades are stunning, but I would definitely use them in a different way. But right now, I want to build myself a new single palette, or so I thought. But then I was like, wouldn't it be cool if my May Shop My Stash featured mostly creams? And then I was like, but then I should do that also for the eyeshadow part of this video. And I was like, but I've got lots of like cream and liquid shadows. Maybe I could pull some of those in. So for May, I'm going to be doing looks and trying out some of these things for the first time. Some cream shadow. I just thought, let's do singles with cream shadow. So I'm not building myself a palette, and I instantly knew what I wanted to show you. So I'm not going to go into the drawers with you and showing you how I select things. That was the original plan for this entire video, that we could like have fun and select it together. But my cream shadow collection is just not that exciting. And we all know what I'm going to feature when I say I'm going to use cream shadow. ColourPop Ritz. I mean, this is a given. Like, if I'm going to do a month dedicated to creams, I need to use this. This is a Super Shock from ColourPop. It's got pan. That's how much I like it. And I'll show you swatches and looks with this next month. That's the idea. We're going to keep the train rolling. So the swatches and the way I experienced using this and looks and all that is going to go into next month. And then the other ColourPop Super Shock that I might want to use together with Ritz or by itself is another one of my favorites, which is So Quiche. This is a really pretty taupey shade, really stunning, just all over the lid by itself, but also with Ritz layered over it. And what I like to do a lot when I travel is that I use this on the lower lash line and Ritz on top of the lid. You can also smoke this along the top lash line. It's really pretty for very basic looks. And then a look that I was doing a lot in the fall time, but that I didn't really show you what it looked like, is this combination. So I wanted to go back to my H&M cream eyeshadow in Dauphine Truffle, which is this stunning satin. It's not fully matte. It has a hint of shimmer running through it, a bit of sheen, but it's a really pretty taupe. And then that shade, I like to top with Frog from ColourPop. So this is another Super Shock. And this has like a bit of a vibrant bluish silver kind of vibe to it. It's really pretty, really interesting. Has a bit of iridescent sparkle running through it. And this, topped over the H&M, was magic. It was the look I did every single time I had to travel for work. All I packed with these two, and I was like, right, I just need to go ahead and show you this look, and I want to go back to it. So that's another look I can do. And then I really also want to go back to my Holika. I don't know what this is called anymore. This is one of their cream shadows in the shade Moon Flash. And I have to be very careful with this because it's very messy. But it's one of those very textured, cool toned, very sparkly, iridescent shades. And I think I already reviewed this over on the blog. But I want to use this again. And I like this, whatever eyeshadow I want to wear this month, there's going to be a lot of neutrals, I believe, so this can very nicely amp things up and add a bit of texture. And then I have some newer products that I just haven't really had a chance to use it. And I was like, right, if I do this, I will have an incentive to finally use them for the first time. So I have the Armani liquid eyeshadow in the shade 37. I believe it's called Scarab, I think, like the beetle. And it's this really pretty dark green, and I'm just so curious to see what it will do. It has a bit of sparkle, but I'm hoping that this can be one of those like really like sultry, smoky things that you could either use as a liner or like really like fluff it out and like have this really like dark, sultry kind of look. That's what I'm hoping. And then another like pairing that I think can go together really nicely, can work separately, can go as a pairing, but they're Charlotte Tilbury's cream shadow. So I have one of the Eyes to Mesmerize and one of her jewel pots. The Eyes to Mesmerize is in the shade Pillow Talk. This is very similar in texture to the H&M Beauty one. So if you don't want to spend Charlotte Tilbury pricing, definitely check out the H&M. But this is matte. I didn't know that. So for me, this pinky brown shade by itself, I don't think I'm gonna like a lot. I don't love matte cream eyeshadow at all. So, but this is again going to be perfect as a base for the jewel pot, which is a really pretty pot in Walk of No Shame. This has little to no base to it. So this is definitely just a bit of sparkle. And I already swatched these, I think, in my single shadow collection video in January. I think I already swatched them together with this one layered over this. And that's definitely something that I think, yes, that's the way I would probably wear it. Can you wear them on its own? For sure. Maybe I can take pictures of all of those options that I'm now discussing. But yeah, this is definitely going to be something that I want to try more. So that's it. That's what I wanted to share with you in today's video. It was a quick one for a change, but I just thought that it could be a fun video to do something extra on the side and show you this custom eyeshadow palette thing in a different video. And yeah, next month we will have a lot to chat about because I have a lot of different options here, because I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different shadows to chat about next time. So I hope you'd like to stay tuned for more, that's for sure. Thumbs up the video if you liked it. Subscribe to the channel if you'd like to see more by me. I make several videos every single week, so I hope you'd like to stay tuned for more. Subscribe to the channel, and then I hope to see you in my next one. Take care, everyone. Bye bye.